If you've studied hiragana, you know this character is normally pronounced ha, but when it functions as a grammatical particle, historical sound changes mean we pronounce it wa. To understand how this particle works, think of it as a stage spotlight. Whatever word you attach this particle to becomes the central star of the entire sentence. Beginners often try to translate this particle into a specific English word. If you instead visualize it as a persistent spotlight, it becomes a tool for setting the context for everything that follows. In the sentence, watashi wa gakusei desu, I am a student, the particle spotlights watashi, establishing the speaker as the topic. If your next sentence is about where you live, you drop watashi wa. The spotlight stays locked, so you just state new information. Japanese speakers rely on this persistent topic to keep conversations lean. Repeating watashi wa in every sentence creates a stuttering rhythm that sounds unnatural. The spotlight also applies to abstract concepts like time. In the sentence, kyou wa atsui desu, or today is hot, the particle shifts the focus to a specific temporal window. Marking a time word tells the listener, regarding this specific window of time, here is what is occurring. This is why time topics almost always sit at the very beginning of a Japanese sentence. You are establishing the foundational temporal frame before any action actually happens. You can also use this particle to create direct comparisons. By putting the spotlight on two separate objects within the same sentence, you highlight the differences between them. Here, the speaker likes meat but dislikes fish. Niku wa tabe masu ga, sakana wa tabe masen. We mark both food items with the topic particle to clearly contrast the positive action of eating meat against the negative action of refusing fish. This structure is so common in spoken Japanese that you can actually leave the second half of the sentence unspoken. If you reply to a question by marking an object with the topic particle instead of a standard object marker, the listener will inherently understand the hidden contrast. When you use the topic marker for contrast, it completely boots the direct object marker wo out of the sentence. You can never stack them together. The particle mo, which means also or to, follows the exact same replacement mechanics. If we say Yamada-san mo sensei desu, or Mr. Yamada is also a teacher, the mo takes the structural slot without stacking on top of other markers. Question words like dare or who represent unknown information, so they cannot be the established topic of a sentence. They require the subject particle ga instead. The core mechanical rule here is simple. Topic markers and contrast markers replace your foundational grammatical markers. They never stack on top of them. Let's test these rules. Pause and fill in the correct particle for these scenarios. The question word requires ga. Dare ga gakusei desu ka? The contrast requires wa. Inu wa suki desu ka? Neko wa suki de wa arimasen. Notice how these concepts flow together. First, we establish the topic. Watashi wa Nihonjin desu. Then we omit it for the next action. Tokyo ni sundeimasu. Finally, we contrast our preferences. Ocha wa nomimasu ka? Kohi wa nomimasen. Here is your JLPT cheat sheet. First, it's pronounced wa. It marks the topic, then vanishes. It highlights sharp contrasts and replaces object and subject markers. This single marker provides the structural framework for both context and contrast. Using it correctly allows you to shift between topics and highlight differences with the same economy as a native speaker.